All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the fifth day of Open Education Week at NDU. I'm happy today, and this is our last day. I'm happy to introduce our colleague, Dr. Amine Moussa, Head Department of Library and Information System at NDU, for today's session, who will illuminate us on the integral role of libraries in promoting open educational resources. Today, he will share insights into how libraries, particularly through the use of innovative software such as Folio, are catalyzing the evolution of OER. And as you might know, Folio, a cutting-edge library management system, is revolutionizing the way educational resources are organized, accessed, and disseminated, contributing significantly to the promotion of open education. Furthermore, Amine will shed light on the pivotal role of NDU University Press in the open education landscape. Additionally, he will touch upon the remarkable stride that the library at NDU is making in advancing the principle of open education. He will specifically elaborate on the institutional repository DSpace available at the university, underscoring its significance as a hub for curated educational content and a catalyst for fostering collaborative learning environment. Please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Dr. Amine. The floor is yours. But before you start, Dr. Amine, I want to apologize for we had another speaker from Beirut Arab University, Dr. Hassana Muhyiddin, but she's very sick. Unfortunately, she will not join us today. She was gonna talk about, what they're doing at the Beirut Arab University libraries, and she's the head of all libraries in all branches of Beirut Arab University. That's fine. We will start with you. I mean, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Barut, for this introduction, and I have to thank you for organizing this whole week and for giving me the honor to be part of this Open Education Week. As you've said, so I'm the head of Library Information Systems, and I'll be introducing what the library is doing in terms of pushing the agenda for open access. If you don't mind, I'd like to share my screen. Okay, if you could confirm that you can see my screen, that would be great.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. So the title for today's session is the role of academic libraries in promoting open educational resources. And as an outline or as an agenda for the talk, I'll be first covering the role of academic libraries and its link with OER. I'll be talking about Folio, about NDU Press, and about a third project, the institutional repository. So first things first, why am I in this Open Education Week, and why is the library part of this endeavor towards open education and open resources? The libraries play a pivotal role when it comes to open educational resources. And in this regard, I'd like to cover a few points that we are taking a big part in. First, collection development. So part of what we do is actually curating and providing open access material to a wide range of open access publications out there, including textbooks, articles, lecture notes, videos, interactive simulations. So that's part of developing our collection. Advocacy and awareness. We have the role of raising awareness about the benefits of OER, the benefits of open access, and spreading awareness among faculty, among students, staff, administrators, as well as the outer and bigger community. Integration with LMS, with library management systems. Again, the library can collaborate with the already existing library management system at the learning management system at the university by curating and designing instructional material that links the academic library open material to the existing learning management system for students to benefit from. Fourth, copyright and licensing support. Considering our expertise in licensing and in copyright, mainly, we can provide guidance for everyone who wants to publish in open access. We can provide the licensing options, publishing, copyrights, lectures to guide our publishers on how to use the Creative Commons, how to use the licenses. And we know that there are several licenses when it comes to open access. Open educational resources repositories and platforms, and we're going to see several examples of these in today's session. And finally, research and evaluation. We can also engage in the research work and the evaluation and assessment work that is taking place at the institution and its impact on the population of the institution, the students, the academic body, and the staff, as well as the impact of adopting OER in the classroom. And we had discussed a big part of this topic in the last few days, the impact of open access in the classroom. So first, I'm gonna share with you our latest accomplishment, which is adopting Folio from EBSCO. So Folio stands for Future of Libraries is Open. Folio is the latest and newest library management system that is developed by one of the biggest software developers in the library world, that's EBSCO. Folio is an open access platform, and this is why it's mentioned here. The library, along with the Office of the IT and under the umbrella of the university, has taken the initiative to again push this agenda on the ground. So we adopted Folio, which is an open system based on open access platform, which is the trend, as we know and as we have seen during the last week. Folio is the newest and most advanced of any integrated library system. This is actually the latest brand and the latest model, as we say, in library software. So if you want to buy a car, you would go and get the latest model. And Folio is the latest in the library software. It includes new technologies such as BibFrame, and this is a technical term, and it covers linked data, and we will see a brief example on this. And why is this extremely important? Folio has been acquired by the Library of Congress. For those of you who may not know, the Library of Congress is the first and biggest reference in the world of libraries. It has the biggest collection, and it's always the role model of libraries. So if the Library of Congress has adopted Folio, then it has to be the best out there, and we have followed suit. NDU is the first in Lebanon to acquire Folio. We are the model for the remaining universities operating in Lebanon. And to give you an idea about the massive size of this project, it took a period of 1 year to implement it. So EBSCO, along with our team, we implemented a plan that spanned 12 months. We started the implementation last February and we ended just last month. This gives you an idea about the size of this software, which takes 12 months of implementation. By the words of EBSCO, so this slide is from EBSCO in promoting Folio. As I've said, it's the most modern and the only system created in the last 10 years. It's designed for the cloud. It's open source and it's based on open APIs. So everything in Folio is open, which is a big step forward in this path. It manages both physical and electronic resources, and you may know the massive volume of resources that we have and we offer at the library. EBSCO Folio is growing exponentially. As you can see here on the left side, just this year, planned and already implemented are all these universities. And you can see in the Middle East and North Africa, Middle East and Africa, this is NDU, Notre Dame University. From Lebanon, it's the only one, and it's almost among the very few in the Middle East to take this step. And we're sure that many will follow. You can take a look about the universities in the States, in Europe, Latin America, Asia, and Australia, and many more implementations worldwide are on the way. I've mentioned linked data, and I'd like to hint to why it is so important. So far, libraries have been working on static data, but the recent trend is linked data. So linked data actually unlocks catalogs, increases the collection visibility on the open web. And again, it's open. Knowledge graphs, and for those watching who may have a background in computer science, they know what knowledge graphs is, what linked data is. So knowledge graphs are at the core of many human-facing technologies, and here we're talking about linking data that's offered by the library through search terms and search results, questions and answers, dialogue tools, chatbots, recommender systems, and taking support from AI. Looking at those bubbles, those circles to the right, you can see how physics is linked to many other subjects and how peace, which is a totally independent subject, could be linked to physics. The more relationships we can make and achieve through this system, the more powerful our data would be. Another tiny example, just to show you what's under the hood in this advanced system. So this box here on the left is the current way of doing things, which is called the MARC standard. This is a screenshot or a snapshot of what Albert Einstein as a subject can lead us to in terms of books, in terms of subjects. Whereas in the middle box, which is the new standard, the BibFrame standard, you can see that every item is actually a link. So Albert Einstein is a link, Alan Harris is a link, everything you see is linked. And then this link is embedded in the data and itself links to something else and then something else and something further. And you can imagine the world that you can reach just by searching for Albert Einstein, from physics to chemistry to peace to politics to political science to anything you could dream of. So this is what we are heading towards, linking everything in the library together and to the outer world on the open web. Very recently, we had, well, NDU was in the news, so we were in the news onto the EBSCO website. They had a little blurb about NDU being the first university in Lebanon adopting Folio. This is the little blurb on the EBSCO website and the EBSCO news. It is there. I can provide you with the link if you like to read more about it. So they describe what NDU is. They say why NDU has adopted this system and how it is the first library in Lebanon to choose Folio. And they had a small discussion with me where I shared my experience with the system and why we had chosen that system to begin implementing last year. So again, we were making the news in the library context. Our third point and second project for today is the NDU Press. NDU Press is an initiative that started a few years back with the aim to make all the print collection of NDU Press, which is huge, to make it available to the public. And what better way to make it available to the public than digitizing it, cataloging it, and making it open. So NDU Press is an in-house developed platform developed at the library. It comprises research publications, conference proceedings, and what have you from NDU Press. This is a screenshot of the main landing page of NDU Press. It shows you the latest available publications. You can search by author, you can search by title, you can search by language. It has Arabic, English, French. And this is just an example of what a book would look like when you're surfing NDU Press. The design itself is taken from international websites. And we looked at Cambridge, we looked at Oxford, we looked at Harvard of how they display their press publications. We adopted that design and that functionality to make it up to the standard and on par with other international universities. You can look at the table of contents, you can look at author information, publication details. You could download a full text, which is available in PDF digital format for free. If you'd like to order a hard copy, you can order a print copy. And you can also link to its bibliographic record for librarians and for those who are doing academic research, they would need the bibliographic record. So this is what we're doing. This is what we're aiming to do with every item in the NDU Press big collection. This is a very promising project. It's huge. It's going to take time, but it's really on the forefront of making our collection open. Our third project is the institutional repository. Now, this is one of the biggest projects that the library has embarked upon. It started in 2015 and it keeps on growing and growing. I have to say that the NDU IR is among the most populated in Lebanon. We keep our eyes on other IRs in academic institutions in Lebanon to know where we stand, and we can clearly say that our IR is among the most populated in Lebanon. It is a part of a university-wide open access movement. As we have seen during the last week, the NDU is heavily involved in making the open movement on track and moving in a speedy manner when it comes to open access. So we have seen how the classroom is being activated with open material. We have seen how research at NDU is open. And today we're seeing how this software is enabling that as well. Dr. Baroud has also talked about forming a committee, an open access committee, which is very active in this regard. The NDU libraries in particular launched the IR in June 2015, so it has been running and growing for 8 years now. It is built using a technology called DSpace, which again is open. And here I have to commend the libraries for being able to build this system. I took a big part in building it, but the whole library team was really behind making sure that this system goes live and running. And I'm saying that, again, it's something that we pride ourselves in. DSpace, the technology, and IR, the product, was fully developed at NDU libraries, unlike libraries elsewhere who purchase it off the shelf or who contract a third-party software company to develop it. This is something that we really pride ourselves in among the other institutions. The IR is fully customized, is fully tailored to the needs of the NDU libraries, and it keeps developing according to the needs of the library staff. Now, why have we chosen DSpace as a technology? As I've said, it is open source software among the many open source software packages that we are adopting at the library. It is developed by MIT and HP. It is used by over 1,000 organizations worldwide, and I'm talking about academic institutions and non-academic institutions such as NGOs, UN entities, and many others. It is customizable, and it manages and preserves all digital file formats, which sometimes is a restriction when you're adopting other software packages. And as a library that houses every digital format there is, we needed such a software. This is the landing page of the institutional repository. We're going to have a live demo in a few minutes. Why IR, and what's the objective behind developing such a system? First, to support and advance the university mission. Again, the library is aligned with the university as a whole under the mission to foster excellence in scholarship and lifelong learning, and to educate students to be future leaders who can exercise reason based upon knowledge, unquote. It collects, stores, preserves, and manages, and makes all the scientific and scholarly production of the university easily accessible. It facilitates the transfer of knowledge within NDU and outside NDU. It increases the visibility and the use and the impact of the scientific and scholar work. And among the content that you can find on the IR, it hosts a preprint and postprint of papers published in journals in compliance with relevant copyright legislation. And here I have to draw your attention that we would need permission from your academic journal to publish it on our IR. I'm sure academic researchers know about this, but just for you to know that we have some copyright limitations and restrictions, and we have to respect that. We publish doctoral theses, we publish master theses for NDU students and NDU staff. And we have audio-visual material for conferences produced by NDU members. So basically, it's a one-stop shop for everything academic output at NDU. The content is divided among faculty and staff on one side and among students. So we made sure that faculty has space on this IR, staff as well, and students, they have a dedicated space for them and for their academic output. For faculty, as I've said, we accept the preprints, published articles, book chapters, conference papers, videos, teaching material. And for students, we dedicated a part that has to do with their thesis and dissertations. The IR is structured according to communities, sub-communities, and collections. In IR terms, a community is a faculty, so we have the faculties represented. We have sub-communities, which are the departments. These as well are represented under faculties. And for each department, we dedicated a special area for the collection output of the department, may it be open or restricted. We can add materials ourselves as library staff, but we also allow NDU faculty members, staff, whether library or not, and graduate students to self-archive their digitally born material within the IR. So we gave the power to our community to self-archive their material on the IR. However, I have to emphasize that we have a committee at the library that looks at that archived material and double checks and makes sure that that material is authentic, is genuine, it's not plagiarized, and it fits the aim and mission of the IR. We also provide training sessions. So the libraries, we conduct regular training workshops to all the stakeholders on how to deposit items to the IR so that we give them the authority and the freedom and the power as well to archive their material, as well as to engage with the content and to be familiar with the aim that the IR would be a helpful tool for your research. If I want to talk about the benefits, to highlight and list some of the benefits for the NDU, this project manages and preserves and opens up NDU intellectual output to the World Wide Web. It increases the institutional visibility, the status, and the reputation globally, of course, depending on the content. And as I've said, I'd like to reiterate that NDU-IR is among the most populated in Lebanon. It serves as an effective marketing tool for the university and for the library because it is a strong arm of the library, and it saves cost because, as I've said, it's open access and it was developed in-house. For researchers, it provides long-term preservation of their material. It provides permanent and open access to digital material and output. It increases the dissemination and the citation impact, very academic and very research oriented, and provides knowledge sharing and feedback. For the outer society, that is everything or everyone who's not staff, faculty, or students, it provides free access to our scholarly information. It increases public knowledge through the sharing and reuse of individual assets of research taking place at NDU. It opens our research to the public, and it protects against duplication in research efforts. So people out there who are willing to conduct certain research in a particular topic, they can check among the many things they check, they can check NDU IR and see what NDU has published in that regard. We have worked with the university committee, as I've said, with the university administration and with the University Office of Information Technology to develop a policy that requires all graduating students to deposit their thesis on the IR for clearance. And this was a big step forward as well with standardizing our work as a library with the remaining entities at the university. So now there is a written policy that emphasizes graduating students that they have to deposit their thesis on the IR before they can graduate. Some of the challenges that we are facing is encouraging the university community, the greater community, faculty and staff to deposit their own output on the IR, simply because academic faculty, they usually publish in journals, and this is very understood. However, we are finding some challenges with asking them, with inviting them to publish on the IR as well. in part to populate this IR with the quality research that the academic faculty is outputting. And other challenges is promoting the IR among the community, simply because the IR is, as I've said, academic, is research, is classroom oriented, looking forward with having the classroom material deposited on it. So we need to make the IR more popular and more known and more visible among the university community. Just to give you a quick look at what's under the hood again, I'd like to always show that so that you know what's happening behind the scenes. This is a tiny flowchart of how the IR works. Um, we have several actors on the IR. We have the submitters, we have the collection curator playing behind the scenes, we have the end users, we have library staff, and you can see from this chart how what you submit as a single paper is dissected into many tiny pieces. And this great work is done by the library staff. It is dissected into metadata, into items, into collections, which is housed in certain communities. There are certain ways to preserve it and certain other ways to retrieve it. So what you submit as one PDF file, we take a long time to dissect it into tiny pieces to make it linked and to make it accessible. I can show you a live demo for the IR. So basically, this is the landing page of the IR. I'm sure that many of you are familiar with it. This is what you see when you go to ir.nu.edu.lb. I can share with you the link, and it's available on the library website. As a user, not as administrator, as a student, as a faculty member at the Faculty of Business Administration and Economics, I can go to the faculty. I can search by departments.
I mean,
and
we
I
cannot see your
Oh, excuse
screen.
me.
Maybe you're sharing your presentation. You're not sharing your screen.
Right. You're right. I'm sorry. Here it is. You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Apologies. So again, this is the homepage. As a faculty member or as a student, I have all the faculties in front of me. I'll take the Faculty of Business Administration and Economics. That is segregated into the many departments at FBAE. I have the recent submissions by students, by faculty members. I can go to the, say, Department of Accounting and Finance. I can see what's in there as recent, and I can also distinguish between what's faculty publications, what's staff publications, what's student thesis and dissertations. Let me take, for example, an empirical investigation of the volatility spillovers among so and so. This is a publication. You can see the abstract, you can see the description, and these are necessary for your own research when you are conducting research. We can see here the full item record, which is, let me say, library / academic related. You might need this for your for furthering your research. You can view the item. If I click view, it opens in PDF, and you can also see how this item is in terms of open access licensing. Now, we had a recent meeting with the committee, the Open Access Committee, and we're discussing these licenses. Now, this license is automatically generated by DSpace. The license part itself is linked to the Creative Commons website, and you can play around with the licensing whenever you are uploading your article or published paper. You can choose the licensing. We can help with that if you don't know a lot about it. And resulting from this combination is this license that you see, which protects your output and which protects the library as the host of your output. Basically, this is it from my side. I wanted to talk about these three major milestones that we are doing at the library. And I'd like to thank everyone who attended and maybe open the floor for questions.
Thank you, Amine. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. Yeah, we'll open the floor for question. Any questions from our dear participants? Do we have any questions? Right. I think it was clear, huh? For the audience. You're muted, Amine. You're muted.
I was saying, I hope so. I hope that it was clear.
Yeah.
I tried to include as
All
many
right.
details as possible.
Well, I have, you know, I was thinking, I mean, about the folio
Yes.
software. And this is something, you know, you at the library should think about, because there is a potential for integrating folio with external OER repositories. So my question is, you know, what do I mean by this? Is that, for example, if I take a digital repository, which is the OpenStax. OpenStax, they have a huge collection of open textbooks. So that, you know, if those two systems, our system and this digital OER repository, and there are so many of those repositories, are linked together, then whenever someone search for a book, it doesn't have to be just in our system or our libraries, but, you know, the search will go to other digital open textbook, let's say. And I gave just one simple example. And the interoperability with a platform like Folio, it's very important. So my question is, how do you personally envision this integration in strengthening the library's capacity to create diverse open educational materials, and what benefits do you anticipate for the community in terms of accessing a broader range of educational content? Yeah, and I would like to listen to your point of view, from a library point of view.
Yeah. Thank you for that excellent question. So far, we are halfway there. So we're not right at the beginning, because Folio, which is linked to EBSCO Discovery Service, which is the catalog that the students use to search. So EDS, EBSCO Discovery Service, actually looks beyond the library catalog.
Yeah.
So currently, we look way beyond the library catalog. We look at the print material, electronic material, repositories that have already linked to EBSCO, to the EBSCO platform. We look at articles, magazines, and what have you. Everything out there, we have it here. And we also show the students some of the material that's out there, and if they need access, we can provide access. So we have a service at the library called the interlibrary loan. In case you find something that our library does not offer for one reason or another, we can provide that to you on a special request. Now, linking or extending this step further, we can link the system to other as you said, the repositories such as OpenStax or other universities. We need to have some talks with other providers for repositories and other institutions. And I'm sure that Folio is developed having this in mind. So having Folio open, I'm sure that it is developed having this in mind. This would be another project that we will be working on. We just finished the implementation phase, and we can say that finally, now we are looking at furthering Folio and looking how we can extend it.
Yeah, that will be an excellent project or step, you know, to be accomplished in the future.
Absolutely.
One more question.
Yes.
When our student or the community of our university will start using Folio?
Well, Folio as a system is a back-end system for the librarians. Okay. What the students see is the search catalog, which is the EBSCO Discovery Service.
All right.
So the client-facing, as we say in software world, the client-facing is EDS. EDS is populated through Folio. Folio is already running, and EDS is there, so students can start using it.
Great. Excellent.
Yes.
Do we have any other questions? You know, as I mentioned at the beginning, Dr. Hassana from BAU, she will not be able to join us. But if we have no other questions, I would like just to wrap up this wonderful Open Education Week starting on Monday, and today is Friday at Notre Dame University, LOUAIZE. Okay. We express our sincere gratitude to all the speakers this week, starting with Dr. Kamal Aboushdi, Dr. Eugene, Dr. Dorothy, she joined us and was a team from South Africa. That was the first day. And then on the second day, we had Dr. Roger Nakad and Dr. Bassem Sabra from the Faculty of Natural and Applied Science. On the third day, we had people coming, our colleagues from the Humanities, Faculty of Humanities, Dr. Maya Al-Haj, Dr. Natalia Jaha. And then today, we close this important week with Dr. Amine Moussa. Thank you, Amine, so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everyone who attended today's session. And we'll see you when? Next year with the Open Education Week 2025 at Notre Dame University. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.